Elon Musk announces that he's going to vote Republican for the first time in his life. And within 24 hours, there is a story accusing him of sexual assault.
What Elon's trying to do is so important, not just for our business, I think for the country. We've talked to you about why Twitter is so important for the media narrative. It is the closest thing to a town square that exists right now in the digital realm. And Elon said, Clay, he said, they're coming for me. I mean, he's been putting out tweets for weeks saying that there's going to be some hit job against him. And here you go from the Daily Mail. Elon Musk says he claims he paid $250,000 to silence SpaceX flight attendants. 2016 sexual harassment claims are from a far-left activist / actress with a political axe to grind to stop him from buying Twitter. He challenged openly the liar to describe his naked body on Twitter, which is quite a challenge. It's quite a gauntlet to throw down, so to speak. And you know what, my man? This is Blasey. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not buying it. Blasey Ford 2.0. It's so clearly timed. It's so desperate. And I think Elon's going to keep on pushing past this nonsense.
Okay, so let's break this down for just a moment. Elon Musk announces that he's going to vote Republican for the first time in his life. And within 24 hours, there is a story accusing him of sexual assault, that they're trying to say is sexual assault. So I read this story, and here's how I would break it down. I'm going to put my lawyer hat on for you. First of all, Buck, and not a lot of people noticed this, but the story is hearsay. The woman who allegedly is saying that she was mistreated is not the source of the story. It's a friend of the woman who is alleging that she was mistreated. So the person who is telling the story to this news outlet is not the actual woman who was even involved in this story. It's a level removed. Her comments may not even be admissible in a court of law because, again, it's hearsay. There are certain hearsay exceptions that we could run through. Okay, so let's start there. 2, the allegations in the story are not sexual assault. So even if you take them as truthful, this is not any way sexual assault. 3, the allegations are ridiculous. It sounds like a joke. Elon Musk said he would buy a woman a horse if she was interested in engaging in some sort of amorous activity with him. Now, I think this is just like, I read that and I kind of spit out my drink when I was reading it because I don't know. I mean, we've got a lot of women who are listening to us right now, Buck. Has there ever been a time where a man has won your heart by offering to buy you a horse? I mean, it sounds like such a ridiculous joke to make, right? Like, and also, what kind of horse are we talking about? The story doesn't specify, but my first thought is there's a wide range of horses.
Yeah,
right?
It's a pony and Arabian thoroughbred.
That's right. There's a big difference in the value of the horse, but I can't imagine there ever being any woman who I have ever met that they would be impressed if I offered to buy them a horse. It sounds like a joke, particularly because she used to ride horses. And then the payment here is $250,000, which to people out there who are maybe not involved in the legal process, $250,000 might sound like a lot. You cannot even combat a sexual harassment allegation without paying far in excess at a major corporation like this, or for a major individual like Elon Musk, far in excess of $250,000. So a lot of times people just say, hey, this is a rounding error.
So is this a nuisance? Is this a nuisance payment?
That's exactly right. The amount of time that Elon Musk would have to spend on this, $250,000 to Elon Musk is like, Buck, you or me paying $20, right? Just to be, it's like going for coffee for him because of his wealth. And when you're paying, and you know this, but a lot of people out there don't realize it, every lawyer that Elon Musk ever pays is probably a $1,500 or more an hour lawyer for people out there. So, if you have them work on a case for 20 or 30 hours, which I used to do sexual harassment investigations, it's almost impossible not to spend that amount of time on these cases at a minimum. This is a total nuisance case. And I would just say this. He's been a public figure, Elon Musk has, for 25 years now. It took him 24 hours of being a Republican for somebody to come out and accuse and be published him as being inappropriate when it comes to women.
It's just so obvious what's going on here. I mean, it's obvious because Elon said, hey, guys, you know what's going to be obvious? When they come at me with something, when someone dredges up something in order to stop me from purchasing Twitter, look at the fear. I've said this in the beginning, Clay. It's so illuminating just to watch how terrified the Democrat apparatus overall, politicians, media figures, news people, they're terrified at not having their hand on the scale of the digital public square. It sends them into a frenzy. Elon has never said there's going to be reprisals against the left. We're going to balance things out. We're going to take a look at the historical inequities of Twitter and decide that we're going to silence the other side. He's just said, look, we're not going to play games anymore and pretend that we're doing free speech when we're not. And they are in a frenzy over this.
That's right.
And I think you're going to see, even though it's obvious, they will go forward not only with this kind of an accusation. Federal regulators are thinking about how they can get involved. The Biden administration, I'm sure, has people at DOJ and looking at this as some kind of an antitrust possibility. I mean, there's all sorts of tricks they're going to try to pull, all to prevent the richest man on the planet. I mean, Jeff Bezos buys the Washington Post. Fantastic.
Nobody
great
blinks.
Journalism's going to be done. Elon wants to buy Twitter, make it free speech. It is DEFCON 1 for these lunatics.
Yeah, and I think the one positive is everybody knows the game and how it's played now. So this accusation seems to have landed with just kind of a thud and nobody really cared, right? And I think because of obviously people who listen to this show know what Rush went through over the years with people coming after him on a personal level. But to your point,
and the government,
on Brett Kavanaugh,
and the tax authorities
the
of New
government,
York,
the IRS, and everybody else. And we talked about the fact that when we took this show, at some point, I'm kind of stunned, Buck. I don't know about you, given the influence this show has and the audience that you guys tune in every single day. I expected in the first year that somebody would come after us, guns blazing. I mean, I talked to you about this once our names were announced that somebody was going to try to come after us and do hit pieces. So far, we're a year in, and nobody's really come after us. But this is the game they play. This is the way that they try to destroy you if you don't sign up. I mean, think about this. Elon Musk has gone from a hero of the left to someone that they are trying to destroy based on simply believing in content-neutral policies. That's all he's done. He hasn't said, like, hey, I'm a far-right ideologue. He's just saying, I want Twitter to treat everybody evenly, regardless of what their political opinions are. And this is such a rigged game at Twitter that they are terrified of just content-neutral policies.
And I think there's another component of this that everyone should be aware of in the background. They're so terrified of free speech as a general principle now, as we know. The left there is no longer foundational agreement between Democrats and Republicans, between left and right, on free speech as a value, as a good, that we can agree on what it is. Because they'll say, oh, well, hate speech is not. And then you say, well, if I'm opposed to illegal immigration, is that hate speech? Yeah, it sounds like hate speech to me, right? They do not believe in, and there's, of course, much worse hate speech or actual hate speech that is protected under the First Amendment.
I should be able to say that men should compete against men and women should be. That's hate speech.
They're completely insane. But in the background of this also, they say that the world is going to melt down because of climate change, and it's an existential threat. That is their phrase. Obama has said it. Biden has said it. Elon Musk is doing more, in a sense, to combat climate change than any other individual. Not that I think climate change needs to be combated, but put that aside. He is doing more with Tesla.
It's impossible for any individual to have done more
than he is. And they will destroy him if they can to protect their speech advantage online. That's how much they care about this. Forget about the fact he's done more than any other human being on the planet for the issue that they say is existential, to fight against that. They
That's
will
right.
ruin this guy's life and reputation so that they can run around pretending like they're more popular online and their ideas aren't insane.